the entire Indian subcontinent created an entire system of marriage whereby the man doesn't have to go over and approach a woman and smile and say hi. Like, that's what a big deal this is. It's like entire cultures are built around trying to protect the man's feelings from getting crushed when he goes over and says hello and then finds out that she's not interested. You might have heard the old saying, the most attractive part of a woman's body is her smile, right? And for a man, and I believe this is absolutely true. And it's not because the man isn't absolutely interested in other parts of the body, but it's because of a kind of deep-rooted psychology that a lot of women who I've coached and spoken with, oftentimes it's taken for granted, right? And the big part of the psychology is this: a man's worst fear when it comes to dating and relationships is approaching a woman he's really attracted to. It's like you could have a man who's so successful in business, in his career, he's on a mission, he's wealthy, he's a great catch, he's everything. But he himself may not realize that, because as much as he's involved in his business and his career, his mind is over there, right? And when it comes to dating and relationships, if a woman is really attractive, or if he finds her attractive, the hardest thing to do is just go over and say hello, go over and introduce himself. And then there's this signal that a woman can give that just said, hey, it's okay. You can come and talk to me, right? And it's this magical smile. And it is literally attractive. Like, when it shows up, a man will be attracted. Now, even if he was interested in her anyway, he had all of this inner resistance to going over and talking to her. Basically fear, insecurity. And I know for some women, it's like, yeah, we want him to have all the fear and insecurity to get him to get over himself so that he actually mans up. Totally get that. And having coached a lot of men in dating as well, I got to say, it's like we cannot overstate what a big fear this is. Like, a man's worst fear is he goes over and then she's like, oh God, you're such a creep. Why are you talking to me? I'm married. Go away, you freak show. Like, these are the movies playing in his mind. And meanwhile, the totally happy, innocent, single woman who is in the right place at the right time and is just waiting to be approached, it's not going to happen because the man is getting tripped over on his own fear. So that's the first big one, I got to say.
Can I say something here?
Absolutely.
You reminded me of a couple of things with this. I can remember one guy that I interviewed a while back who said, most guys don't feel like James Bond inside. I'm like, that's a great way to say it, right?
That just in one sentence said what I just rambled for 5 minutes about. Exactly.
No, I love that. I love that. I mean, I sometimes call that green lighting with women when I say, give him a green light, make him know that it's safe to approach, because I've had a lot of guys express exactly what you've just said. Like, this is a real deep, scary fear to approach a woman, because the creepy guys, they don't care if they appear as the creepy guys, but the normal guys don't want to appear as the creepy guys.
Exactly. And that's why the green lighting, great metaphor, great way of saying it. That's why that's so important, is because the regular guy who's not an absolute player, who's not going and hitting the bar with clubs every night and is totally promiscuous, the regular guy doesn't have that much experience going over and saying hi to a really attractive woman for no other reason than the fact that he is attracted to her, right? So it's huge. Now, I was thinking about this before our call, and I thought to myself, so I'm originally, like, my parents are from Pakistan, right? I'm from the Indian subcontinent. Think about this. This is such a deep-rooted fear that the entire Indian subcontinent created an entire system of marriage whereby the man doesn't have to go over and approach a woman and smile and say hi, right? Instead, they're like, okay, if you like a girl, what you do is you tell your parents tell their parents, the families will figure it out, and then we'll have a family meeting together, and then you meet in that context. And hopefully by then you'll have the courage to say hello when it's all socially condoned and everything. Like, that's what a big deal this is. It's like entire cultures are built around trying to protect the man's feelings from getting crushed when he goes over and says hello and then finds out that she's not interested.
Mamoon, that is like so amazing to think about it that way. And that's so true. I've never really thought about that, but that's so true. That's incredible.
This is literally why we have arranged marriages, is to avoid this problem. Obviously, there are other problems as well that we're avoiding, but that's the big idea.
Yeah, and I can remember, this is just one other funny thing before you make your next point. I can remember coaching a woman a few years back. We were talking about this very thing, the eye contact, the smile, giving him the green light. And I said, just, notice yourself when you're out there in the world, in public, and how you're showing up, what your demeanor is, what's going on with your face. She said, this was hilarious. She said, not only was I not smiling at men, I was giving him the death stare.
Yeah, especially if she's attracted to him, right? It's even worse. I had a client recently where I mentioned this. I was like, hey, I love I'm going to start using green lighting. That's such a great way of describing it. But I was talking with a client about this, and I was saying, hey, when you're out and you're in the places where men are and everything, like, tell me about how your approach is, what your mindset is. And she's like, oh, and I mentioned the thing about smiling and that kind of thing and eye contact. And she's like, oh, yeah. My friends tell me I have an RBS, which is a resting something face, and I don't want to repeat in public, right?
Right.
But I was like,
the B word.
The B word, right? I thought it was hilarious, and I'd never heard that before, and I heard it from my client. This is how I stay in touch with the young'uns, right? My clients are telling me how the dating world is these days. And this is the other huge thing, which is we might have it's kind of funny that the Indian subcontinent invented arranged marriage. Well, the Western world, to avoid the same problem, just invented Tinder. They just invented apps that basically avoid the same problem, where you don't have to have the magical moment of connection at the beginning because you can just prearrange everything on the app.